Today I want to tell the story of the first time I ever went through a facilitated breathwork and why that experience affirmed to me or confirmed for me the existence of what I will call God, but more largely is the existence of kind of a supernatural experience. Brief bit of context: I was born and raised in the South in the US. I was educated through private Christian school my entire upbringing, so that was kind of the religious framework that I was raised in, and plays into, I guess, like my psychology and stuff I'll probably never be able to remove from myself, but was pretty involved with the faith growing up, had normal doubts like any kid, and then in college definitely stepped away from consistent practice, reading the Bible, going to the church, etc. But I never doubted the existence of God. I definitely didn't know exactly what it looked like, and that's an ongoing exploration and conversation. You probably see it in a lot of the podcasts I put out. But I had never experienced any sort of supernatural phenomena. I'd also never chosen to partake in any sort of psychedelic substances that could potentially alter my mind state or allow me to tap into altered states of consciousness. So I never experienced anything remotely like what I experienced when I first went to a breathwork session, and it was very in passing. The first time I was here in Bali back end of 2023, I was with a couple of friends, and a friend of the group basically said, "Hey, I go to this facilitated breathwork class thing every couple weeks when they host it. It's completely changed my life. You guys should definitely come with me." And kind of on a whim, and because I was open to having that sort of experience, I said yes, and we all went, and it was a really unbelievable experience. For those that don't know what breathwork is, essentially it's just using the breath as a tool to help you access potentially altered states of consciousness or collective consciousness. The breath is a super powerful tool, of which I won't go into in this video, but it's a healing tool. The word spirit and spiritual comes from the Latin root spirus, which is to breathe. So words like inspire, aspire. The world is innately connected to breath, and I think it's a super powerful thing. So it's cool what you can do with it, not only like physical healing, but also kind of the more psychedelic type of experiences that you can pursue. And because I hadn't done anything like this before, when they asked us to set intentions as we were kind of all sitting preparing for the ceremony, that I just set the intention to hold open and not resist anything that was happening. I was kind of open to seeing what would happen. And during the ceremony, they had us kind of do some physical exercises to kind of get into our bodies, loosen up a little bit. We sat down, set an intention, did a brief meditation, and then off we went to a guided 45 minutes of pretty intense breath work where you're really working. And that was one thing the kind of instructors reminded us, is that even though it is kind of a spiritual experience, it is work. It's breath work. So you have to stay with the breath, and kind of the harder and deeper you go, the deeper you will be able to experience. And so I tried to push myself as much as I could while kind of maintaining that edge of paying attention to the breath, but also letting go, if that makes sense. You don't want to just be thinking in, out, in, out. You want to let whatever comes without kind of just allowing yourself to get lost. And what was nice is the instructors were there, obviously, kind of with the music that was going on, as well as their guided voice, kind of reminding us, stay with the breath, go deeper, keep pushing yourself. And I think what's really unique about this as an option, and my encouragement for people to try it, whether it's a guided YouTube video, a Wim Hof breathing, for the skeptics out there, you're not adding anything exogenous outside of your body to your body to give you an experience that is altered. It's simply just yourself and the way that you use your body as a tool. So to me, that whatever you experience on the other side of that, you can't just dismiss it away. A lot of people would say that psychedelics, it's the drug is making that thing happen to your brain. You're not tapping into anything particularly spiritual, and I'm not here to debate that point. But with breathwork, it's pretty incredible the things the things that you can experience on the other side of simply just using your body as a tool. So during the experience, it's pretty normal for you kind of, as you're hyper-oxygenating yourself, you'll get kind of tingling in your hands, and potentially on how hard you go or how deep you go into it, you might lose kind of feeling in your hands. And this is normal. So like it was an encouragement to like not resist that, because you could definitely kind of like freak out and be like, oh my God, I can't feel my hands. So I kind of just like let it happen. I got a little bit of tingliness and kind of some cramping in the hands, but nothing super dramatic with like twitching or anything. And basically you're kind of going with the breath, and every 15 minutes there's a 1 minute hold, and that's when you're supposed to kind of focus on forcing the energy up your spine into your head while you hold that breath. And those holds were really, really kind of euphoric feeling almost. I'll struggle to find words that can accurately describe what it felt like, but after the whole experience, there's one final long hold, and then there's kind of this 15-minute integration period where you just like breathe normally, rest, and like come back to earth basically. And during that period, the word afterwards that I came to describe the feeling that I felt in my body was home. And what's interesting about home is that not only do you feel safe, but it's familiar, as if you've been there before. And this gets into my perception of what's going on here spiritually with like the possible death rebirth cycle. And there was just this comfort in knowing that you've been here before, and when you die, you're going to a place that you've been before, so there's no reason to be afraid. And then secondarily, so your eyes are closed during this experience. There were visuals. You don't always experience kind of visual stuff when you go into one of these, but I experienced a little bit of visuals, and the only visuals I got were appearing kind of in space, I guess, just like the black expanse of the back of your eyelids. I saw a cross. And keep in mind, I had the Christian context, so I don't know if that's preconditioning bias or if it means that, the Christian God is the God that exists. I'm still exploring that personally a lot, actually. And either way, I saw the cross kind of outline, and then splaying off of it were kind of these geometric X's, but it was like still and unmoving in the middle. So I just thought that was like a really cool nod. Again, I don't know for certain if that was like preconditioning or if I was able to kind of witness a sign directly from God. I take everything as I experience as this constant communication between me and God or the universe. So it was extremely affirming to me, and all that to say, like, I experienced phenomena like that, and the highly rational, the highly scientific person might want to spend the rest of their life trying to find a study to explain stuff away or put it into a tightly contained physiological experience, and I wouldn't discard that as a possibility, but I would say it simply makes my experience better to believe in something more phenomenological. And I believe that science will always be a lagging metric trying to explain what spirituality is already there, because you have to perform studies and get the data to then, in my opinion, affirm what we already believe in the spiritual world. So less of a descriptive or thought paradigm type video today. Just thought I'd share a story because I was at loss for what to make a video on in this daily challenge. So I hope that was insightful or interesting or made you pique your curiosity. Comment below if you have any specific questions. I could dive more into the experience. You can DM me on any platform, and then don't hesitate to find like a guided breathwork video on YouTube and give it a shot. You can't hurt yourself, and as the instructor said, you're always in control because you're the one breathing. So if it ever gets dicey or you feel uncomfortable, you can literally just chill out and stop. But I think it's pretty profound and will likely unlock things in your life that you've never expected or experienced before. So hope you enjoyed that, thought that was interesting. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.